So I think it's safe to say that this aquarium has gotten a little bit away from me. Growth inside is great, but it's the surface, it's this darn duckweed. I mean, just look at that. And as a result, what happens is that inside, it's not as dark as that, let the camera adjust, it's actually darker than that, but there we go. It's more like that with that sort of glowing surface, which is not a good look, especially when there's such nice fish and plants in there. I need to get this off, don't I? I just need to get rid of everything and just try and get it all out. Thing is, the red root floaters are growing so beautifully that I want to get rid of them, but they're going to have duckweed intertwined with them. At least if I just go right back to basics, it might sort it out. Now, I don't think there's going to be any sort of methodical way of doing this. I've just got to get in there, start scooping stuff out. I want to take out some clumps of red root floaters, put them to the side, but the rest is all just got to go. Watch out, fishies. Well, I've been scooping for a while now, and I've managed to fill up this bowl already with compacted material. This is going to take ages, but it's going to be worth it. Getting the majority out of it isn't going to take ages. It's all the little bits. I'm not going to be able to get everything out, but I'm going to do my best because I feel like this scape does deserve to still be seen. There's still a little bit of life in it left yet. I want to do a rescape at some point in the future, but not just yet. Okay, mission partly successful. So if I come over the top, you can see here that a lot of the duckweed really has gone, and all of the other floating plants. There's still stuff obviously dotted about, but the problem is now is that I've got so many plants here that are catching it all. I actually need to get in there and cut them right back. It looks so good. Look at that epistogramma though. How cool does that look? Like, it's like a real little environment in there for them all. It's so cool. But yeah, there's only one way of doing this. I've got to be brutal with the plants. As always, cut them right back. So it has now been a couple of days since I stripped out all the duckweed and everything from the top. The reason I've given it a few days is because I was away doing a few things, but also I wanted to let the water clear up because there's been no filter running this tank now for like, I don't know, a month? Yeah, about a month. And yeah, it's amazing how well it's doing considering that. I mean, I'm saying no filter, but obviously the plants and all those floating plants as well, they are filters in themselves, aren't they? So it has had a filter, but not like a mechanical or an electrical one. But there we go, look, it's already opening everything up so nicely. Way more light coming in. The fish, they're looking so good as well. Look at that. There is, of course, a few types of epistogramma in here. Well, no, that's an amazing koi guppy. There's epistogramma Hong Shloi. These are the albino cherry barbs. Oh, there's the other epistogramma. Oh, I can't remember, is it? I think it's Cacatoides. You guys will know a bit better than me. I'm so bad with remembering names. I've had this guy for a long time now. Look at his blue lips. Face me. Nice, there we go. Look at that. He's an absolute beast. He's not very bossy either. He doesn't seem to chase anything. He seems pretty chill. Like, when you look at his size compared to all the other fish, he's probably the biggest one in here. Look at those two in the shot. Two epistogramma. He's pretty chill. I like him. Cool dude. So yeah, tank overall is looking sweet, but on the surface here, look, we've still got all this duckweed, and I need to just trim back everything really short and try and get rid of absolutely all of it. I really want it all gone because it just creeps up too fast. Too many tanks in here to worry about coming back to this, taking scoops out every couple of days. No, it's not happening. And here's an example of where a floating plant that works better is Salvinia, because look, like this is built up over a couple of weeks. I'm absolutely fine with that, I can deal with that. What's that? Scoop, done, it's in half. Yeah, and look, as a result, the plants don't suffer. They're all green and looking good. They're not looking their best. This is a no filter tank. So I'm starting to learn a little bit about bigger no filter tanks, is that some of the stems are going to struggle a little bit without any flow. It's a bit different in the other tank because there's so many fish, but in this one there's not that many, is there? So you're not getting that water movement around everywhere. So it might be worth just putting a tiny little, like wave maker or something like that in the back, or a surface skimmer. That'll work really well. But yeah, really is time to get hacking back on these plants. See how much there is at the surface here? That all starts right in that back section in the middle. So I need to get right in there and just get rid, really. Most of it's quite scraggly looking because obviously it's had no light because it's all been blocked. So it grows really sort of leggy and not that great, but it should grow back better. Once you trim it down, it'll start growing from where we trimmed it from, and then there'll be ample light to get really, really good colours coming back through again. So that is a lot of the plants that were just poking up and just constricting flow all on the surface and the background area almost completely gone. There's a few dotted about, but what it means now is I can actually get the net right in here and scoop every last bit out. Some will actually fall under and get caught in with some of the plants, but that's fine. We'll just play around with it until they all come to the surface and just keep going. It's gonna take a lot of scooping. Well, yeah, this is now just an absolute mess. This tank hasn't had a water change in like 3 months, so I'm gonna give it a nice big one now. And also because I've removed so much matter from right inside the tank, including loads of plants, loads of stem plants have been removed, you know, so they're all now gonna be damaged. All those floating plants as well, I'm now thinking I need to put a filter back in because it would probably be all right, but there's a lot of really beautiful fish in here. I don't want to risk it, so it won't hurt. Just put another filter in, getting it like moving around, getting the water flow a little bit better, adding in a bit more beneficial bacteria as well, and that'll all be good. There's only a little bit of media in most of my filters. Most of the media that's got all the beneficial bacteria, everything already in the tank, including this massive substrate system as well. So that went pretty well, I would say. Down here there's quite a lot of mould and everything, which the fish, to be honest, are just going to stir up into this water column, and it should be pretty clear by the morning. I'm going to leave it now. I've also put a little, what do you call this, like a surface skimmer up the top here, look. And the idea behind that is that, look, it's going to pull in all those last little tiny bits of duckweed. And yeah, they're not, because you're never going to get rid of all of it. But hopefully this way we can seriously minimise the chances of it coming back. You can just see there how it's catching everything. And over time, that whole surface is going to be free of duckweed. Quite a bit will be caught up in some of the plants, so I will come around and sort of stir those up again. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be gone. And we can just have some red root floaters in there. I think that'll look great. But yeah, shaping up really well. Right, it's now a new day, and the tank, it looks so good. It had more colour before in the plants down below. They're not looking like the best, but I think we'll be all right. I mean, that's what I'm talking about, right? Look at that, like the fish are popping like crazy now. All of them, they had colour before, don't get me wrong, like the oranges were looking insane on the cherry, albino cherry barbs. But every single fish now just looks great again. You couldn't even see some of the smaller ones here. Look, Celestial Peldania in the middle there. Oh, it's just looking so good. It will actually get much better than this as well. Like, just look at that. That's not like me making everything more vibrant. These fish are always really crazy bright. Look at them, they're so cool. They're like mini little goldfish, I've said that before, but they are. The Bulbitis here, looking insane. Now there is a slight browny tinge to everything. There's still a bit of mold that's settled on some of the plants, and I've actually brushed them off several times, let the tank clear again with the filter at the back. I've added a filter in the back here. This is what I always had before. It's just that little internal one there. It works so good, but it'll clog up quite quickly because there was so much mold. So I've just been taking it out. The little bit at the bottom snaps off. Clean the sponges back in again, and as a result, I mean, look up here. Now we're not seeing hardly any. Well, actually at the moment I can't see any duckweed, but there will definitely be, oh, there we go, look. As I said that, picking that up, that one piece there stuck in that bit of Bulbitis, that will cause another mass growth, I reckon. Oh look, and again, over here, just the 2 of them, but that's enough. You just got to keep my eye on it basically. Oh, see, there you go. Another 2 little bits in the middle there. Every time I see them, I've got to take them out, and eventually we'll be completely free of any duckweed in this tank. Fingers crossed anyway. All the plants down the bottom you can see here, they've lost some of their sort of light, so that looks drab as anything. That's Macrandra, which goes so pink usually, and it will do again. The Rotalis as well have more colour. Everything's just going to come back much better than it was. Like I say, I do want to redo the tank at some point, do something new. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what I like to do. Is my hobby is switching things up, as many of you know. But as I said before, there's still some life in this yet. I want to see it come back to being like awesome. It's quite an old tank now, you see. So what I'm doing now is just going through the boring task of trying to get this red root floaters back in without all of that duckweed attached. Again, there's going to be some that stay attached as I put it in, but if we can get the majority off, and then there's less work to do in the tank. And I know you're probably thinking, MD, you can't even trim your moss once a month. How are you going to check for duckweed every day and take it out? I'm not saying I'm going to be able to do that. and in all likelihood, it's not going to happen, is it? But I must try, because as the great Elon Musk once said, if something's worth doing, then you should try regardless, even if the probable outcome is failure. Hopefully it's not though. So we've got a good amount of red root floaters now dotted around the tank. That will spawn a ton of new ones. This lot here is kind of stopping the flow, but there's some getting in the back. It's fine, it's absolutely fine. The surface is looking clear anyway. Underneath, the red root floaters, look, they look so cool. They just add those extra little bits of red popping everywhere, especially at the moment as we've got no colour in our plants. We've got colour, we've got green obviously. We want to see a bit more colour. That's going to progress nicely now.